Okay, hi guys, thank you for coming back and watching one of my videos. This is my second time filming this because the last one was kind of a mess. So here we are. First of all, I want to say thank you for everybody supporting me on my last video. Thank you for all the support on my last video and all the DMs and people I got talking about it. It really, encouraged me to make this video. So this video is basically just going to be a quick summary of how my spiritual journey and how this whole simulation consciousness journey has shifted my perspective on love. So to start, I think it's only fair to say that I've never been in a serious relationship, and so when I'm referring to love, I'm referring more in the sense of the type of love I give off and the type of love I accept. I want to start from the spiritual standpoint because this is what really gave birth to all of this, perception and deception of what I think of love is. When I was going through my very first stages of my spiritual journey, my perception of love changed because it was more of I saw it as an energy exchange between me and the person that I was having a relationship with. So the spiritual standpoint was just hey, I don't want to be with a person who has a really bad auric field or has a whole lot of stress or negative energy built up inside of them, because if I am intimate or if I do get in a relationship with them, that energy is just equally gonna, soak into me. I think the best way to go about this is to actually bring in the simulation theory right off the bat, because it really will relate to a lot of the spiritual sense, because like I said, most of the things, all religion says the same thing. Same with this. The way I talk about this simulation can also be translated into a dialect for the spiritual person to understand. I'm going back to this book, and I know what you guys are going to say, you
can't base your whole life off of one book.
And I'm not. It's just this book does it so well where it puts what I'm thinking into words. It's as I'm reading, I'm rediscovering things that I have already discovered, and it helps me put things into words where you guys can understand. So in this book, this guy refers to us being in a computer simulation, of course, and that the ruler of this simulation is a virus, that we are all born as our infinite selves, and over time that infinite selves turns into phantom selves, which are our fake selves, who we are deceived and stripped of our natural, vibrancy and all of that. Just like in spirituality, how people believe that we are born with open third eyes, but that's quickly, taken away and calcified because of society. It's the same exact thing, that we are born as our infinite selves, or that we are born with these opaque, vibrant third eyes, and it's automatically almost taken away from us because of society or because of the system. In that sense, it's talking about how the ruler is this big mass virus, and this virus is what takes over us and causes things like hatred and suffering and wars and all of that stuff, and it affects people. So if we look at it in a sense as possession, okay, and automatically when I say possession, most of you probably got in the mind of Insidious or The Conjuring, when people get possessed by demons or the devil and all that stuff and go crazy. But I don't want you to think of it in that sense. I want you to think of possession in a sense of a possession of your thoughts, possession of your output on life, okay? It's this virus is trying to turn all of us into that virus, and it's been working. There's wars and suffering going all over the world, and all these people are getting possessed by this virus because it's spreading to the point where we don't know what it is. So it's just our ignorance is causing us to cater to this type of virus. So he quotes this. He says, "They are energy and awareness and can be possessed or taken over." So he's saying that all of us are energy and awareness, and that we can also be possessed and taken over by another energy or an awareness, as long as the frequencies are compatible. Possession happens when an entity or energy, the virus, attaches to the human auric field and begins to dictate thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. If you look at this in the Christian sense, so Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and there was this snake. And I asked my dad about this. I was really confused. I was wait, could snakes talk? Are these supposed to be real life stories? And he explained it as the snake was used as a conduit of the devil to create Adam and Eve, to make sin, and he used the snake to deceive them, right? So just that type of story, people are constantly being possessed. These mass murderers, mass mass shooters, and I know you guys are wondering,
what the hell does this have to do with love?
But I'm about to get there, okay? So in a sense of possession, if you look at these mass shooters or these school shooters or whatever, I look at that as a sense of possession. It's like, you know, possession isn't only like the movies where, you know, a devil or a demon gets into a body and they start worshiping and Satanism and all of that stuff. I look at it as a possession over thoughts, possession over happiness, a possession over your infinite selves, to the point where it drives you to become into this virus or turns you into this hateful person who just gives off all negative energy, right? This is the part where I turn into where it changed my perspective of love. He goes on to say, drugs and alcohol abuse can lower human frequency enough to enter the realm of the virus. And having sex with a possessed person can allow a possessing entity / virus to slip across the energetic connection to possess the partner. I was reading that and I was like,
oh my gosh, this is so true.
I gotta really like keep my guard up, because it's like if I go around the way I used to go around, just, you know, talking to whoever I thought was cute, or just whoever would like say I'm cute and stuff like that, and then talking for a few weeks and then hooking up or whatever, that energy or that virus can easily be slipped into my mind or slipped into my auric field to the point where I become infected. So the spiritual standpoint of what I just said, so this is kind of like a recap. So the spiritual sense is saying that everybody is a spiritual being, we all have energy and we vibrate at these different frequencies, right? Pause.
So sorry.
So let me explain frequencies for a second. So I believe that there are different levels of frequency that are simultaneously coexisting within this physical reality that we see. We live off of our 5 senses, right? Touch, see, feel, that's our reality. That's what our phantom selves are trained to believe. But I believe that there are copious higher realms of frequencies and realities. That's why we see like ghosts, or sometimes I feel like I have a presence around me or something like that. It's because I believe that there are all these other, you know, frequencies simultaneously living within this reality that we can't see because we have been trained not to see them. So going back, so the spiritual sense is that we have an energy exchange where it's like if I sleep with somebody, their energy is going to seep into me, and vice versa, my energy is going to seep into them. So that's the way my love perception has changed, where it's like if I come into a situation with a guy with, you know, unconditional love, but they don't feel the same, that energy is gonna bring me down. That's gonna you know, hurt my auric field because we're not on the same level of frequency, right? And then looking at it from a simulation perspective, where if there is this virus that is infecting the world and infecting our simulation, I can't just go and, you know, give all my love to someone who's infected, because that infection will infect me. And if we are in a simulation and we're all computers, this virus can affect me and get into my state and possess me to the point where I unconsciously start giving off this type of energy or start transitioning into a virus, because the virus is so powerful to the point where it will deceive you and it will take control over to you so subtly that you won't even know it's happening. I really wanted to make this video because it's like, whether there is a virus and we're all in a simulation and it's taking over, or if we are spiritual beings, it's like all to turn us away from negative energy, or all to turn us away from these type of people. And it's like, when, especially when we get into the concept of love, you really need to be careful who you give your love to, and realize that whatever you give to them, they're giving back to you. And it's, even though you guys may not be on the same page, like they may be a horrible negative person and all you want to do is give them their love, you have to realize that that negative energy is going to rub off to you, and that virus is also going to affect you. It's like going forth for me, it's like I do look at the physical sense, I'd be like,
oh yeah, he's fine.
but it's like, what type of, it's like, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because before, you know, most people are just like, yeah, he's fine, he's cool, I love him, let's hook up. But now in my brain, it's like whoever comes into my life, they gotta, you know, work. They really gotta show me, because it's like, you don't want that. If you're getting that close to somebody and you're giving your all to somebody, you want their energy to match yours.
I feel like the ultimate type of connection I could have with somebody and really express true, genuine, unconditional love with that person is for us to not only vibrate at the same frequency level, but to be able to recognize that there are other frequency levels that we can vibrate together to the point where we are just flourishing and living life to the fullest, not only in this physical reality that we live in.
Just take a deep breath. So this was just a really quick video that I needed to make and I really wanted to make because I go on Instagram, I go on social media, and I see all these relationships that are so toxic and they're so blind to it, and they don't know why these problems or this negative energy is reoccurring. And I'm like, it's right in front of you. You just gotta wake up.
And it's like, that's why I make these videos, because I try to, you know, reach out to people, because I know if I 100% believe that if there was another 18-year-old of my physique doing what I'm doing, spreading this message, I would be so down. I would be so into it. I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know what? It's not an old white man who wrote a book trying to speak knowledge to me. It's an 18-year-old going through the life that I'm going through, trying to help me and help herself, and she wants my help. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so into it. I'm so into it. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, just to, you know, talk to you guys. I feel so comfortable because stuff like this I don't like keeping in, and I just want to share, and that's why I do what I do.
So anyways, yeah, that's the end of this video. I really hope you guys like this. Go watch my other video on the simulation stuff, because wow. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz. Bye.